दंडौत बंदन अनेक बार, सर्व कला समरथ, तोलन तेरा खो प्रभु, नानक दे कर हथ, ज्ञान ध्यान किछ कर्म न जाना, सार न जाना तेरी, सब ते वड्डा सतगुर नानक, जिन कल राखी मेरी। गुरु प्यारी Guru Swari Sath Sangat Ji, with the grace of Tan Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, they have allowed for this samagam, this hazri to take place. Satguru di mehr nadar de naal eh hazri ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਮਿਲਿਆ. And before the aramta of this katha, let us place our hazri in this darbar. Sarbat Sangat, please join me in the blessed Fateh of Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji. आखो जी वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह. Sadh Sangat Ji, in today's katha in particular, we will discuss the beauty only one line of Gurbani can contain. Sangat Ji, let me rephrase that. How one line of Gurbani has so much beauty within it. Now Sangat Ji, there is a beautiful shabd in Rag Dilavar, and the Guru starts off by saying this. They say, Gur Pura Meri Rakh Dai, Amrit Naam Hriday Mein Dino, जन्म जन्म की मैल गई. Sangat Ji, the Guru says, Gurpur hai meri raakh lai, the true Guru, the Samrat Guru. Now, before we go further, Sangat Ji, we have talked many times about what is the Guru. Remember, in this Western society, the word Guru is thrown around as something that means just a teacher. ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਆਪਾਂ ਵਰਤਦੇ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਲੋਕੀ ਕਹੋਗੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈਗਾ ਟੀਚਰ, ਪਰ ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਸੀਮਿਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਡੂੰਘੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ. We see this word Guru as someone who's a teacher, but now there's something called a Satguru. And when we add this word Sat, now we're changing the meaning completely. We're saying true Guru. Guru बहुत हो सकते हैं, पर Satguru हर कोई नहीं हैगा. संगत जी, Guru बहुत हो सकते, Satguru सारे नहीं हैगे. And so Gurpur hai meri raakh lai, the Guru that is being referred to is the true Guru, the Satguru. And remember Sangat Ji, what is the Satguru? Satpurkh jin janya. Satgur tiska now, the being who has understood Waheguru, who has obtained the union with Waheguru, who has reached the state in which now there is no difference between that primal being and themselves. That is the Satguru. And so now this is the Guru we refer to. Gurpura meri raakh lai, the true Guru has saved me, has preserved my honor, Sangat Ji. But how was this done? They say, Amrit naam hriday mein dino, janam janam ki mail gayi. If you remember in the beginning, we said how one line can be so beautiful. Sangat Ji, this line itself we can talk for hours about. They say, when I achieved Naam within me, Amrit Naam Hriday Mein Dino, Janam janam ki mail gayi. They say the waste of lifetimes was removed away. Now this itself needs more contemplation, Sangatji. In this modern world we live in today, we hear a phrase, people say you only live once. And they usually associate this with something that someone wants to try usually. They usually say this so people go out and do what they want to do. You only live once, they'll say. But now when we look at Gurmat, the Guru says, "E jiyo bahute janam pramya." The Guru says, in fact, you have been born and died many, many times already. We sit here on this earth, Sangatji. It is not necessarily the first time we are here. We have taken birth with the life upon this earth. But Sangatji, until we have not achieved mukti, until we are not liberated, Sangatji, if we put it in more simpler terms, until we don't win this game of life and we lose, we come back over and over. So the Guru is saying, Janama janam ki mail gayi. When they refer to mail, this is a common Punjabi shabd we hear every day. Filani cheez maili hai, we say. It's dirty. The Guru is not referring to physical dirt here. They're talking about within. The filth that is within. The Guru is saying that we have been on this earth countless times, and throughout those lifetimes, since we never connected to the truth, filth has been piling up within us. Now what is this filth made out of? Sangatji, Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. Kaam, lust and desire. Krodh, anger. Lobh, greed. Moh, attachment, Ahankar, ego. These five are referenced over and over again, Sangatji, in Gurbani, because the Guru is making it very clear to us. It is a combination of these that cause us to suffer over and over again. Now the Guru is giving us a way out. They say, Amrit naam hriday mein deeno, janam janam ki mail gayi. This is what's so profound, Sangatji. The use of you even sitting here right now. What is it? We see we have done so much karam in our life. Karam means our actions, what we have done. And because of what we have done, Sangatji, we will receive the fruit, the consequences of those actions. We'll give very simple examples. If I am thirsty and I drink water, what's the consequence of me drinking water? I'm not thirsty anymore. And in this sense, Sangatji, there are other karma. In fact, Sangatji, all karma has consequences. But it is not necessarily that we receive the consequence right away. The example I gave, that is a karma in which you receive the consequence right away. You drink the water, you're not thirsty anymore. But then now let's say you did something very terrible to someone. You might walk away out of that situation, but know well, Sangatji, it will come back. It will not leave you. In the same way, let's say you did something very incredible, and you walk away, you might be thinking, I didn't receive anything in the moment, but Sangatji, as the time goes on, that will come back to you. You give, you get, you take, you lose, Sangatji. Now, what we have to realize, Sangatji, connecting it back to this Pankti, we have done so many terrible things in our life, okay, without us even realizing. Some of us might be thinking, well, I'm a pretty good person. I don't really lie to anyone. I don't really do anything terrible. I didn't hurt anyone. But Sangat Ji, there are habits we have in our life that continue to add this filth to us. What are these habits? Did you ever talk behind someone's back? Nindya. And those same people might be thinking, well, yeah, I think I did speak behind someone's back, maybe a few times in my life. Have you ever gotten angry? We might be thinking, well, at some point in my life I might have gotten angry. Did you ever come in pride and ego? And Sangat, now when we really start going deep into this, we recognize that we are adding filth in our life every single day. Every single day, Sangat. And so when these karam continue to take place, these continue to add filth, and these continue to bring us down, weigh us down, Sangat, not allowing us to be free. Now listen carefully here, Sangat. Is there any place you can go in this world we live in this entire earth, where those karam can be washed away? Where the filth that was piling up within you can be removed? If you go to the greatest scientist, the greatest psychologist, they might be able to pick up what your personality is, they might be able to diagnose you with depression, but ask them, can you remove away the filth that is filled within me? Go to the greatest psychologist out there and tell them, can you please remove my ego? Can they do it, Sangat? They cannot. And so this is where we recognize, when we sit in this Hazuri, the sanctuary of the Satguru, the true Guru, remember that Guru, the true Guru. It is this Guru that has the ability to wash away this. It is through reading Gurbani and doing the Simran of Waheguru Sangat that we start to remove our ego, that we start to rise above our anger, our greed, and our attachments. Let's look at another example. When we think of greed, and let this be an example to really open up our minds to the possibilities here. When we think of greed, we only think of money. I think I'm not greedy. I didn't keep money from anyone. Well, I'm going to give quite a contradictory example here, Sangat. Let's say you came to the Gurudwara and you started doing a particular seva. Let's say you started doing Chaur Sahib. Now you've been doing Chaur Sahib for 2 hours. And now let's say there's a little kid, he wants to do Chaur Sahib now. And you've been doing it for 2 hours. You've had your time, but you're not giving it up. Sangat Ji, even the very seva that you were doing is now becoming greed. And now again, as I repeat this, let that open this up, Sangat Ji. We think of it so superficially, but we have to understand there are so many forms to these things. What is calm? Lust is definitely one thing that is associated to it, but this is also associated to our desires, Sangat. Now, let's ask everyone in this debate, who is free of their desires? If we asked honestly every single person here, Sangat, is there an individual who says, I need absolutely nothing now? Completely satisfied. Well, some of us might say, well, yeah, well, if that's the case, you wouldn't be going to the shopping mall to buy a $400 jacket. If that's the case, you wouldn't want to buy the world's fastest car. Sangat Ji, the examples are infinite. Let us now come back to the Gurbani. Amrit naam hriday mein dino, janam janam ki main gayi. When I came to the sanctuary of the Guru, and through the Guru's grace, I started reciting the name of Waheguru. I started doing Simran in my life. It is through that now I begin to rise above my anger, my greed, my attachments, my ego. And that filth that was piled up within me for lifetimes is now beginning to get washed away. Now Sangatji, the Guru continues further. They say, Nivare Dut Dust Barai Gurpure Ka Japya Jap Kahan Kare Koi Bechara Prabh Mere Ka Bhad Partap. They say, Nivre Dut Dusht Barai. Now remember, Sangatji, we talked about how we think of things very superficially. Listen carefully to this example, Sangatji, it'll really help you understand. An individual that just got out of high school, they're going to university. They're going to pursue a degree, Sangatji. They're going to pursue a particular field. Now, before they start that 4-year degree and the education afterwards, how much knowledge do they have of that field before going into it? And I think the logical answer is not a lot, minimal. Definitely not as much they will have by the end of it. It is when they start pursuing that degree, Sangatji, they begin to study, look at the research, and then they begin to understand immense knowledge. And that, Sangatji, whatever they are studying, the research they are studying, where did that come from? There were individuals, let us use the example of psychology. There were individuals who did many, many tests on the brain. They used scans, they ran trials, did experiments, and what they gained from all of that, they put forward in their research. Now, Sangatji, when we look at Gurbani, what do you think this Gurbani is? Is the individuals that went very, very far in a particular field, but it's not the field that we would usually think about. It's not mathematics. It's not physics. Sangatji, these beings researched for years themselves. These beings went into themselves, studied themselves, researched the nature of everything. And when they achieved that Brahm Gyan, they gave it to us. This is their research. Now in that sense, Sangatji, I'll make the connection back to the Pankti we were talking about. Nivre Dut Dusht Barai Gurpure Ka Japya Jap. The Guru says all enemies, all negative entities and energies have been removed from my life. But how did it happen? Did it just happen out of thin air? They say, Gurpure Ka Japya Jap again. We see the repetition. When you did the Simran of Waheguru, when you sat down to recite the name of God, it is through that, Sangatji. Now, let us open that up even more. When we think of this body, we just think of it as a body. There's nothing else to it. It's skin. There's bones, there's blood. When you ask the physicists, they'll say this body is energy. We see around us a building, air, water. What they see, Sangatji, are different forms of energy. Now, if we just take that example of energy, the Guru said, कहाँ करे कोई बेचारा प्रभ मेरे का बड़ प्रताप. They said, what can anyone do? Prabh mere ka bad pratap. The aura, the greatness of Waheguru is so immense. Now Sangat Ji, let us make the connection now. This body is energy. And around this body, there is an aura of energy. Now, let's say there's an individual who's incredibly depressed all the time. They have so many negative thoughts in their life. Sangat Ji, when you go near such a person, when you start talking to them, their aura will start to leave an impact on you. The words they say, yes, for sure, even those words are energy. They're vibrations through the air. Look at how deeply we can go into this. So that energy begins to leave an impact on you. Now, in the same sense, when you meet a newborn baby, what do? Do you yell at them? Do you scream at them? Do you start squirring? No, we get into such a playful nature around little children. Why is that? It's because their energy is so pure, Sangatji. They haven't seen this world. They are free of anxiety. They're born without care of anything. That aura, that energy leaves an impact on us. And so when we meet such a being, we start, Sangatji, we start taking upon the effects of that aura. Now, when you meet a saint, when you meet a Brahmgyani, Sangatji, when you meet the Guru, what do you think begins to happen here? In Gurbani, the Guru has said, Jithe jai vahe mera Satguru so than suhava Ram Raje. They say, Saat dharti bhai haryavali. Jithe mera Satgur baitha aaye. They said, wherever the Guru went and sat, wherever the Guru went and abided, Sangatji, that place began to blossom. What is taking place here? Sangatji, remember we described the Satguru, one with the Waheguru. Their aura is so immense, Sangatji, the Pratap. That energy is so profound around them. Sangatji, wherever they go, even if you're not talking to them, just by sitting in their sanctuary, you begin to calm down. Just by sitting in their sanctuary, you begin to find a stillness within you. There's a beautiful Sakhi of the 8th Guru, Tantan Shri Guru Har Krishan Ji Maharaj. Because it's very easy for me to explain this, but Sangatji, these things have happened in our history. When Guru Har Krishan Ji Maharaj, our 8th Guru, would sit down and recite Gurbani, the birds that would be flying in the air would stop and listen to them. Their aura began to have an effect on all the animals around them. And of course the humans as well, Sangatji. Not just the Guru, the Gursikhs during the time of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Because again, like we said, when you remain in the sanctuary of such a Guru, you also begin to get elevated. Some of the saints, Sangatji, when they would be riding horseback, there would be animals that start following them. Their energy is leaving such an impact on this earth that these beings around them, even if they don't know what it is, they feel a connection, they feel peace, a stillness, a bliss there. Now Sangatji, what this all fundamentally connects back down to is the power of Simran, the power of Naam. The Guru came here, Sangatji, and over again, those of you who are blessed to read Gurbani, if you've ever done a Sajpat in your life, you will know that the Guru has said one thing over and over, and that is, recite the name of Waheguru, meditate upon the name of Waheguru. It is through that, Sangatji, That everything we're describing right now is possible. So Sangat Ji, with that being said, let that create a spark in our life to do Simran, and of course to read more Gurbani. When you come to the Gurdwara, even if there's someone that knew nothing about Sikhi, that knew nothing about the Guru, when they walk into the Gurdwara, they find stillness, they find it calm, they'll say, I feel peaceful. Why is this? Because day and night, there's Gurbani being sung here, there's Simran being done here, Sangat Ji. That energy, that aura leaves an impact on us. Now imagine if you were such a being that did so much Simran in your life, that read so much Gurbani, that wherever you went, you started having that impact on other people. And this is exactly what the Guru says happens. So in the final moments of this Katha, Sangat Ji, let us join for a short time in Guru Mantra, in Simran. Waheguru, Waheguru. Let us read more Gurbani and let us do more Simran in our lives. Please join me in the blessed Fateh of Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji one more time. Akho ji, Waheguru ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru ji ki Fateh.